Hello everyone, welcome to the CLGFGC YouTube channel. I'm Ramola. Today I'm here with the rest of the CLGFGC team to talk about ranked anxiety. Specifically, you boot up ranked, maybe you're like a silver player trying to get to gold, or whatever Tekken rank. I know there's a lot. Don't kill me for that. There's a lot of Tekken ranks. If you're in that sort of bubble, in that position, hopefully this discussion will help you. To kind of start, my perspective on ranked anxiety, just kind of basically, let's say you boot up for ranked and you're just stressed the out. Like, you're just sweating, you're anxious, you're playing terribly, just all because, the pressure of the situation. Ranked is great for the fact that it can put you into high pressure situations, but it can be bad to hyper focus on it, and it can actually be kind of detrimental to your growth and your games. So I'm very curious to hear what both Brian and Cuddlecore think about the subject of ranked anxiety, just because they have a lot of ranks in their games.
Right.
There's not as much or as varied in Strive, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a lot more of a contained bubble, right?
To me, Strive doesn't have a ranking system. I don't know, maybe that's a not fair take to have, but I feel like there's 3 ranks. There's floor 9 and below, there's floor 10 trying to get Celestial, and there's floor Celestial. I feel like the ranking system, you're just constantly bouncing up and down or knocking on the door to get to Celestial. So I don't know if it's exactly the same, but with Tekken and Street Fighter, it's very linear, and you have points that go up and down every single game. And in Street Fighter especially, it tells you are on a 5-game streak. Next match to rank up, your opponent will rank up. There's a robot lady telling you this every time you boot up rank. So you'll hear when someone if they beat you, they'll get a rank up, and you're like, no, I can't let them, I can't let them rank up on me. It's really built into the game. You have, the bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, whatever, all that stuff. People care a lot about ranks in Street Fighter 5, and there's a lot of perceived status around it. And I think that's one of the big issues with fighting games in general. So Strive, I feel like the rank system is bad. DBFZ, the rank system is also it's almost impossible for me to even understand. Tekken has a bunch of ranks, and Street Fighter 5 has a bunch of ranks. But what does that rank actually mean? I think to us, tell me if I'm wrong, guys, the ranks don't mean anything.
No,
once you get to a high level, the ranks are so who cares? But I think when you're not at our level, or you're not you haven't matured out of rank, you care so much about bronze to silver to gold. It means the world, that badge of honor. But I think for most of us, it actually isn't. You realize it's a tool, it's a way to practice. It doesn't actually, your points don't matter.
The rank's made up and the points don't matter.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I use rank as a tool for learning matchups, right? It's very different for us compared to people that aren't maybe tournament goers. So I think understanding how to use ranked and what it can mean for you as your growth as a player it's very important. It's very much just about finding players that will challenge you. That is what ranked is, in my opinion, the most useful thing. It is playing strong players and getting better at the game. That is the most important resource that you get out of ranked.
Ideally. The problem is so many of these games have bad matchmaking. I feel like Street Fighter is a bit better, and maybe I think Tekken as well. But I feel like for Strive and for DBFZ, is there matchmaking? I couldn't tell when I played those games.
You get paired up with other people by luck, pretty much, with how Strive system is.
Right, which is not good. And I can see that making you anxious too, because you might be stomping people and then getting stomped extremely hard right after.
No, for sure.
Yeah, I actually have a lot to talk about on the subject that you brought up with how people really focus heavily on idolizing the numbers, or the title when they're new, especially, and they're kind of going through the whole process of things. And I think that's where a lot of people get their anxiety, is when they get to a point where they're let's say you're starting out, you're new, you're kind of you don't have any expectations. You grow, you get more expectations, you get better. Then you're I'm floor 7, I won't lose to floor 5, floor 6. Or plat, I won't lose to golds, silvers, whatever. They want to look good more than they want to just be good, if that makes sense.
100%.
Yeah.
So I feel a lot of people get too caught up on the look aspect of it rather than the actual competition, and then they start to stress more and more about kind of if I lose here, I look worse, or they're gonna think I'm trash or something, that sort of thing. You know what I mean? Getting ego in that.
In terms of perceived status, it's really funny with Street Fighter, because it shows you your number of rank. So if you're number 1, it'll show 1. So the higher your number, the lower your rank is, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I used to have rank anxiety, because I used to take it very seriously in the first beginning stages of Street Fighter 5, and that's also before I was really known as much. So I felt like I had something to prove, and I took it extremely serious. I got to like rank 6 or 5 in the world. Like I was on a grind, and I think the first match of the day, I would always feel a little nervous. And then once I got through that, to me, I would get in the flow of things and it would kind of go away, and I would play each match. But like that perceived status, I think to people who don't have as many connections, or not as involved, or newer, that matters because it's kind of how you get your foot in the door. Like, let's be real, it does matter. If I look at somebody and they're gold versus grandmaster, ultimate grandmaster, I'm going to assume some things about their skill level. That's just fact of life, right? I don't assume everything because I know for a fact that the numbers don't matter in the long run. To me, ranked is more like, hey, if you can get to a high rank, that means you know how to play the game. It doesn't mean you're winning tournaments. It just means that, you're playing the game. Like, we're speaking the same language here, right? If you're bronze, I don't think we're speaking the same language. If you're ranked number 1 on the leaderboards, I don't think you're better than me. I think we're speaking the same language, though. But people in the Street Fighter community, they'll see me like, I'll lose to somebody in a tournament, and it'll be an upset to me. Someone I beat every time, and they'll be like, oh, why did you expect to win? They're ranked 22, and you're ranked 500. And I'm like that. Yeah, I'm like, it kills me because I beat that guy 30 times in tournament. They finally got their one win. You know, I dropped the ball, and I get comments like, "Whoa, why did you expect to win? He's ranked so much higher than you." And it's just like goes to show that people like they don't get it. That ranked beyond a certain point is just like the numbers don't matter. It's more like if you can't get a high rank, then that means you need to improve. But once you are proved that you can get a high rank, getting the highest rank is just a waste of time. Like, I think we all agreed. Does anyone here grind rank to be number 1 on the leaderboard? Like, that does not mean you're the number 1 player. That's not an effective use of time, right?
Right.
Definitely not.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Even in the Tekken community, there is a huge fixation on like ranked, especially once they added the Tekken God Omega rank. Yet again, though, it's still the same thing where people slightly overly obsessed over it, but like you said, it's there to kind of see where you're at in terms of maybe like skill and like maybe helping you with matchups and stuff. It doesn't equate to how worthy you are in terms of skill. Like, it's not everything.
Does it correlate to tournament results? Like, can you like the people in the final rank, the tier of rank in Tekken, are anyone in that rank, are they like a top 32 at a major, top 16 at a major?
Yes,
threat?
they are. Yes, they are.
So,
yes, they are.
So there is at least a correlation there, because to me, like, if you're Warlord, which is the highest ranked in Street Fighter 5, I know you're a good player. I give you props. But I would always say for NLBC, when we had NLBC online, for perspective for people, there's Warlords who go 0-2 at NLBC.
I didn't know that. See, I thought maybe like, I thought in terms of skill, like if you're up there, like, those upper 2 or 3, the highest 3 ranks, then that means you're usually doing pretty all right in tournament.
No, they're good. They're good, but they'll have a week where they go 0-2 because that's how stacked the competition is. And the people they're losing to, they might have an account that has no rank points. Knuckle Do won Capcom Cup. His account was rookie. He never went into ranked. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
I know we're kind of getting divergent from the anxiety thing, but I just need people to understand the broader competitive perspective of how ranked is a tool, and your ranked number does not define you. It does tell you something. If you made an honest effort, it does give you good feedback, but don't let it totally define you, and don't let that define like your perception of other players also, because I'm telling you, the tournament goers, it is not the end all be all. Sounds like it's a bit more in Tekken, though. I didn't know that. That's interesting to hear.
Yeah, just when I look at like who's got like 8 Tekken God Omegas, and like there's some of like the most cutthroat like players on the circuit, but it's also like the matchups are different. Tekken is different. Like, depending on the region, ranked is way more active.
Right.
Like you can play people over and over again. Like, I'm a musician from Korea. He said like, I think he said something like, I've lost my rank like a lot of times. I've lost Tekken God Omega tons of times, but like I get it back. Like, because they're constantly just trying to play to improve, and that's what they use it for, a tool to improve and to play for something on the line, and it's to help sharpen them. It's not. Because he's also a really good tournament player too.
I'm a little jealous because it sounds like the top players in Tekken play each other. If I go in ranked, Diamond to Warlord, the point differential is like 200,000 points. So I can be the number 1 player in the world and play the top 50,000th in the world. So like a lot of the ranked experience in Street Fighter is just stomping people who are severely underranked or under level compared to you.
Yeah, dude, that's what I think too. Is like you see these like high ranks, right? And when you tie status to that, it's like, okay, well maybe this dude just like, I don't know, maybe this ramp player just beat up like a Faust for like 10 hours. Like, good job, right? Like,
so Tekken sounds better in that regard, actually. So props to Tekken. That sounds. I wish I had that in Street Fighter where I could queue up and play like a serious like back to back.
It definitely, it really does sharpen you. Like, I play ranked to always stay sharp, and sometimes it's a little quiet in ranked sometimes, but then usually I'll go on death matches. I've lost like 9 straight, like somebody's just bopping my Xiaoyu, and it's like, that's good for me because that shows that I need to do something better, and I'm playing for something on the line, and I'm like, oh snap, like I'm about to get demoted. Well, I'll just fight for it back, and that's the point, because like you're not perfect. No matter how good you are at this game, there's always something better. And like, I think about the ranked and I'm like, okay, but I'm also thinking about like, okay, so that means I could do something better in this matchup. That's the first thing I think about, because self-worth and tying it to a rank will really make it harder for you to get better at any game, at any fighting game, especially, we're talking about Tekken. That game's hard already, so the ranked.
I think it's easier for tournament goers to like kind of understand that more, right? Because we're much more focused about like improving our tournament results rather than our rank, right? Like so it's easier for people who are focused on like competing in tournaments to like see ranked as the resource, right, to improve and get better at the game.
Well, like I said, I took it super serious for a while. There was a time where even when I was doing tournaments, I took it extremely serious. And like I said, I think status is definitely a big one.
Yeah, status for sure.
I don't want to like. It's easy for us to sit here and we have status. Let's admit it. It's easier for us to be here. Like, that doesn't matter. You should not care about any of this. Because we have connections. I can hit people up, high level players, and get matches because they know that I'm at their level and not going to be just a random dude that they're stomping, right? So like, I respect everyone on the rank grind who's not known in the community trying to make a name for themselves. Like, I get it. And you're not wrong. Like, if you have a high rank, it at least catches the eye. People might assume things about, okay, you know how to play. So like, you do have a point there, but it's not the end all be all. And I think what we're missing in this conversation is that the anxiety comes from when you're not as good. Being good at a fighting game is not like you're level 1, then you're level 10, level 50, whatever, right? It's not linear. Your skill can be more like a heat map of many different things you could be good at, and you might be good in this area, in this area, in this area, but you have huge gaps in this other area and this other area. So if you find opponents who they match up really well with the things you're good at and you body them, yeah, you're on the way up, you're ranking up. Then you might play someone who overall their stat points are less, but they hit that spot that you have not covered and you just get bopped by them. And you go, wait a minute, I'm looking at this guy's playing. Their movement is garbage. Their anti-airs are garbage, but they know this one string and I can't stop it at all. And I'm getting destroyed by them. But overall, I feel like I'm better. Like that disconnect of like, I'm better, but I'm losing. That's the ego coming in and all that. But that happens. You can be the objectively overall more knowledgeable player and lose to people who are objectively less knowledgeable than you about the game. And that's just a fact of fighting games. And I think that's where people start yo-yoing in ranked. And I think that's when they go like, oh no, I need to make sure I maintain my rank. I'm this good. This is my ego. I earned this. I shouldn't lose it. You have to understand, I think, that you are not a complete fighting game player yet, or like you're still working on the best, most well-rounded version of yourself. And if you're yo-yoing, that's fine. That just means that you need to patch up certain areas of your game. Like, just take that as feedback. And I think you will, that's normal to see. You will see that until you reach a certain level where you start getting much more consistent, because fighting games have 45 plus matchups. There's a million things to learn. So like, you just can't expect to know everything all at once. Like, it will take so much time. So I think that's where it comes from. Like, don't be afraid of yo-yoing. It's part of the process.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree. Yeah. I think you actually touched on a lot of what I was going to bring up. So I appreciate that. You nailed it.
My bad.
I think that I think when it comes to a lot of it, it really does just boil down to ego, which is why I brought up like, the whole aspect with, I'm so-and-so, this is my place here. For someone who's new to fighting games, you're probably going to attach a lot of value to that, to ranked, right? You're going to immediately assume ranked is really valuable. You're not going to immediately think of tournaments as much, right? Like, I think like one thing we should specify, talking about using ranked as a method for learning and kind of what that means. Because I mean, we all do it, really. The difference is all in the fact of like, do I go into ranked and just try to win? Like, just like pull out every grimy fucking tech I have, or like strat I have, and just rob this dude so hard and just see where that gets me? Or am I going to go in and, this person's definitely going to be good because they're, same rank as me. And, maybe I want to focus on anti-airing every time. Maybe I want to focus on
try new things.
controlling space or like, movement or these sort of things. And it's really hard to get out of the immediate, like, situation of like putting a lot of value on it, because similar to Brian, I had the same sort of thing back in Exerd. It was even worse. We were caring about colors on squares. We had our rank system was like a square color. So if you were pink, you were the hot shot. If you were pink square, you were the big
squares.
the big dude. You're the big dude on campus. But anything else, like people just be like, I don't care.
Orange skirt, yeah.
But like, again, similarly to like what Brian said, even back then, it was the same sort of thing where you'd get someone who just barely hit pink square, and then they'd play against bears. Like he's winning every tournament in North America. Like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
it's hard to really use ranking as an effective measuring system because of things like that. At least like, in most of our games. It sounds like Cuddlecore has it pretty good in Tekken. I'm jealous.
Yeah, the more Cuddlecore is talking about rank, I'm like, damn, that sounds nice. I kind of want to have some death matches and ranks.
It's so hard, but it sharpens you so much. But it's still like in the middle ranks and like earlier ranks, they still really care about that stuff. I'll get questions in my chat like, I'm at Raijin, which is like, a bit about the game. You don't know enough, your combos, like your matchups kind of. But you might get stringed up by Pokemon or something.
I'm definitely jealous of the rank like being good in that way, because like with Strive, people are dodging people on like the same floor. Like, I don't want to fight that Axel player. Let me walk 2 feet to the left and like fight this Faust player instead. So like I see that all the time, and I was like, damn, dude, like I feel like people aren't using like ranked for like the reason that it's there, right? Is a resource to get better. And there's a recent thing in Strive that happened is a lot of people are focused on ELO now. There's this new
about that.
rating update. So that's like this website. It uses a like pretty basic ELO system, and people are obsessed with it, right? Like you'll see a Game Storage YouTube like top number 2 chip in the world, like, and the status thing is there. Like even at a high level, I'm seeing it. I see it. I know you people you care about that shit. But like you gotta understand, like it's cool to like use something as like a metric to maybe see your improvement, because it's not always easy to see, right? Sometimes it's just like, man, am I really getting better, or am I just like good at this matchup, or like I don't know. So it's nice to have like something to like attach your progress to, but like you gotta be careful. Like you gotta this next time like you run into like a matchup that you're struggling with, like and you're having a tough time, don't dodge, don't leave,
right.
Like stay there to learn.
My point with
better.
that, the ELO system, it's good if a couple of factors line up. One, you have good net code, so there's a large pool of players to play against, so you're not isolated by region. 2, it's good if you have a lot of players. And then 3, it's good if you can't choose who you play against and they actually do skill-based matchmaking. So if you can duck, then the ELO system is immediately invalidated, and it just encourages bad behavior. Yeah, you never want to dodge. Like that's the number one thing. Don't let the rank mindset, if you can choose in your game to dodge, never do that, because I think you need, what we talk about using rank as a tool. One way to do that is if you play a ranked match and you get stomped, review that ranked match, go to training mode, and pick at least one thing from there to practice to find a counter to, or improve at countering, like in training mode. And then when you run into that matchup again, or that same exact player again, if you employ that tactic that you practice, that one tactic, and you do it effectively, that's a huge win. That's a big win. Yeah. You might still lose the set because there's still more things to cover. But like you need to use it as feedback for that kind of stuff. So like if you start dodging because you're like, I gotta preserve my rank, trust me, bro, that is loser behavior, and you are on the fast track to going nowhere. Go ahead and spin your wheels, because people do it in Street Fighter. They don't run it back when they win.
You're not learning anything from dodging, and we call that cherry picking as well, because you're only playing who you want to play. When you fight somebody that actually knows, maybe how to shut you down, you're not staying. Like you said, it is a loser's mentality if you do that. Right. If you're trying to actually be a strong player, to translate what you're doing there to offline or whatever, or like a tournament, you have to be willing to take an L, or else you're not going to get any better.
And act on it. Take an L and act on it. Like the other thing is, don't beat your head against the wall forever without actually taking time to reflect and train on it.
Like study.
But don't dodge the L's either. You got to face them.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I completely agree with you. If I'm in ranked and there's something that I'm like, that was a weird like string, I don't know, I automatically right after I go into practice mode because it's still you want to do that, I think, because it's still fresh in your mind. Correct. So you want to go in there and like test it right away. And luckily, hopefully the chat sees it too. They saw what you were dealing with. So if you might have forgotten but you know you were dealing with it, hey chat, what was that string?
Streaming is honestly a cheat code for getting better. I know it's when you're new to streaming, you're not gonna have viewers, but at worst, if you're streaming into 0 viewers as you're just starting, you can at least look at your VODs and be like, wait, what the hell happened? Wait, I got smoked so hard, I don't even know what happened. Check the VOD and then recreate it. And I'm telling you, you just keep needing that feedback, and eventually you're stressing about rank because of that one person who's bodying you or this matchup, and the next time you see them, you're gonna beat them, and you're like, wow, I'm less stressed about this because I know what to expect. Right? I feel like the stress is from the unknown. If you lose, but you kind of know what's going on, it's less stressful. You're more like working on it. If you're very not confident about what's going on, you're not sure about matchups and all that, you're gonna have to be a lot more stressed. So eventually, it gets better, is what I'll say. To anyone stressing about it, it definitely gets better.
Again, if you care about like competing and you want to actually get better, you have to lose. It's a part of the process. It's not something to be feared or like to shy away from. Your rank does not mean you're better or worse. A lot of the time, rank is most of the time cosmetic to most of the people that, have gone past it or have burned through rank. Some people are like, oh, like I grinded all the way to like Warlord, right? That's the SF5 one. I'm not getting any respect. What's up with that? I feel like that's also another one that comes up sometimes. But, more common, I think more common in the realm of shitty ranked systems more than anything else.
Which most fighting game rank systems are bad. I think you'll find if you're expecting like to get to the end game of ranked and like be like, yeah, I'm the dude, I'm that guy, I'm the best, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at me. You'll realize that actually once you get there, no one really cares, man. It's all good. You're just another player on the grind. You can respect the grind, but if you there's always more is what happens.
Like a lot of people get caught up in the whole like this is my identity in the community, but it's harder to make massive improvements if your massive flaws are not being checked. And avoiding it doesn't remove the flaw from your game plan. It just it removes you from getting rid of the flaw most of the time.
It looks like a little band-aid on it, if anything.
Kind of.
Yeah, ironically, caring too much about ranked will make you do worse at ranked.
Yeah, exactly.